Go to TAPgiles.com to learn dreams, engage my services, and support the channel. So I was thinking of making a random generator for ideas for tutorials or kind of logic building challenges. So in this case, I thought I'd have like these gadgets, and it will give me 3 random gadgets, and then I got to make something interesting with them. This will just be making the actual random generator thingy to actually tell me which gadgets to use. So first we'll have a timeline, and this will store all of the options for each kind of slot. So I was thinking of having like 3 slots, so it gives me 3 random gadgets, and then I put them together. So all the gadgets will live in each of these timelines, and I'll have 3 timelines, and it will kind of go to a random point within the timeline and activate a random text gadget, which will tell me a different gadget to use with the challenge. So in the timeline, I'm going to click on the clock time, and that turns it into beats, and that gives us columns like this, so we can like easily add a text gadget like that, and we can have like each one of them use up a separate column, and I think I'll give these columns. I'll set the meter numerator to 1, and now each of the columns has its own number. That's not really necessary in this case, but it's just like force of habit. So let's just give these different bits of text to kind of prove the general point. So we've got A, B, and C, and I'll just put this down like that. So we're going to control where this playhead is so that it chooses one of these randomly for us. So if I get a value slider, so we've got a value slider, and this can, by default, you can like have it send a value basically. So now it will send 0.3. So if I wire that into the playhead down there, it will be 0.3 of the way through this. So we're sending like a percentage between 0 and 1, and it's going through that percentage to that point in the timeline and activating whatever gadgets are there. So if I play time, so it's showing C because it's along there, and anywhere during this point it will show C, anywhere during this point it will show B, and then A down there. So if we generate a random number and send that into the playhead, it will go to a different point. It will just jump to different points. So let's get a signal generator. So if I just wire that into the value slider, we can play time and see what this is sending out. So it's sending out just a value between 0 and 1, 0 and 1. But when it goes up, it goes to something in this range. So because it's just 1 or 1, between 1 and 1, it always goes to 1. If it was between 0 and 1, each time it wants to go up, it gets a random target between 0 and 1. And then when it goes down, it gets a random target between 0 and 0, or 0 and 1. So now, if you wire that in there, it's giving us like moving to different random spots within the timeline. And if we turn the sweep seconds down to 0, it's like jittering all around the place, giving us lots of different values. So it's kind of showing us different values all the time. If we give it like a pause time, we can like have it give us different values. That's the one thing though. If it's all the way at 1, it won't catch anything, because when it's at 1, it's actually trying to activate whatever's next over here. So if we grab the end of this and make it longer than the end of the timeline, then when we put it all the way to the end, it will still be activating that last one. So now we'll never get a spot where it doesn't give us anything at all. So if we turn that pause off again, so we can wire that straight into here. We don't need to go through the value slider, and it'll work the same. So now I want to not just get these random texts being shown all the time. We want to kind of lock it in. So if I go and get a signal manipulator and wire that in there, then let's get a value slider again, wire that in there. So if I play time, it's giving those random values. if we turn on freeze output, then the output, whatever value the output was at the time, will freeze and get locked in, and it will just constantly send that. So and then when you unfreeze it, it will carry on, and then freeze it, and it will freeze at a new random point. So if you wire that into the playhead instead, so it's going through the signal manipulator, and then into the timeline. Now we can play time, and when we unfreeze it, it's randomizing, and then we freeze it, and it's not randomizing. And it just kind of locks in whatever it was at the time. So that's how we're going to kind of generate these random things. Cool, so I think what I'll do is you hold a button to randomize, and then you let go of the button, and it shows you, it just like locks it in basically. So if I just go controller sensor in remote controllable mode, that means it will just send whatever buttons are pressing. So if I hold X, we want that to be not frozen. So if we put that through a not gate, X, when we're not holding X, then it's frozen, and when we're holding X, then it's not frozen. So I'll hold X, and then let go of X, and hold X, and let go of X. And you could even do stuff like power this as well. So while it's not frozen and it's generating random stuff, then you don't show the text. So I'm going to hold X and let go of X, hold X, let go of X. So it's giving me like random choices. So now if I put in more choices, it will still be getting random points within that whole timeline, because we're sending a percentage of how far through the timeline we want. So if the timeline is longer, if we're down here, then 90% would be around there, and then if we make it longer, 90% would be around there or something. So it'd still work just as fine, just as well. But that's how you can that's how you can generate ideas. Thanks for watching. I hope you learned something interesting. Go to patreon.com/TAPgiles to learn something new every day.